Hey friends, it's Robin. Oh, welcome to my channel. Today we are doing another seasonal TBR. Fall starts, I believe it's on Thursday, if I'm remembering correctly. So I need to set my fall TBR. If you haven't seen one of my seasonal TBRs before, I'm gonna link Summer's up in the cards and down in the description box. In that TBR, I kind of changed how I was doing these seasonal TBRs. I decided to break these seasonal TBRs up into categories so that I can kind of give you not only a peek into what I'm going to be reading, but what my content is going to look like for the upcoming season as well. So I have 15 books, pretty sure it's 15 books, broken into 3 different categories. So we're just going to go through each of the categories. If you'd like to jump around, there will be timestamps down in the description box, but we're going to kick it off with new releases and series. So the reason that I combined these is because the majority of the new releases coming out that I'm excited for are also series continuations. And so I just kind of grouped them all together, and there are only like 2 that are kind of outliers. First is the Satanverse, which is a backlist, and it's not even really a series. It is a like universe of tied together series written by Eden Finley and Saxon James. They co-write quite a few books, but not only are there co-written books set in the same universe, but the majority of their solo books are set in that universe as well. And I am really, really aiming to get my reader's guide to the Satanverse out in January. And so I have a lot of their backlist still to read. So in fall, I want to read 4 more books in the Satanverse. I don't remember exactly how many I have, but for a while I was reading like 1 or 2 a week. And so 4 is pretty doable. Their books are not that long, and they are almost all narrated by the same narrators. And so I've gotten so used to their narration that I can listen to them pretty quickly at this point. And then the only other outlier is Madam by Sarah Kate, which is technically part of a series. This is the next and I believe final book in the Salacious Players Club. I'm excited but tentative for this because I had Highest Bidder as one of my most anticipated books, like releases of the year, and I gave that book like 1.5 or 2 stars, and I really didn't like it. And so I am tentatively anticipating this one, but I do want to read it. I will read it like right away when it comes out. This series follows a sex club, and I believe this one is following one of the women that works there who we have met multiple times. I don't want to get my hopes up and then not like this one either, but I am going to be reading it right away. The next one is Charming as Hell by Sarah Blue, which is the 3rd book in whatever the name of the series is. The first book was Charming Your Dad, and the second was Charming the Devil. No idea who this one follows. Don't even care. This series is one of those series that isn't like exceptionally well plotted or written. It's not doing anything like new and unique. It doesn't have any like strong messages. It is just pure entertainment, and I am ready for another book in this world. I had, like I said, have no idea who this one follows. It is like a paranormal romance. They're super steamy, following the devil and some demons. I'm hoping that it is the throuple from book 1, but I don't know that for sure. And then the final 3 books, I guess, in this category are not only new releases, but I do need to do rereads of the series as well. So the first one is The Ruined by Renee Ahdieh. This comes out I think in December. I think it's December 5th. So I not only really want to read this, which is the 4th and final book in the series, but I want to do an entire reread of the previous 3 books as well. I have them all on audio. I really love the audio. I'm going to get this 4th book on audio as well. The next is Grim and Sunken Vow by Ashley Shuttleworth, which is, I have no idea what the name of the series is, but book 1 is A Dark and Hollow Star. Again, I'm going to reread these via audio before this one comes out. I will probably wait to read this new one until the audiobook is out, just because these do have a like full cast narration, and I do like that. I don't love all of the narrators, but I do like that it's a full cast, and there's a lot of like words and names and stuff in here that I don't even think I would recognize if I read them physically, just because I've read almost all of these via audio. So it is a YA new adult fantasy romance with fae and a fallen fury and some meddling gods, and it's a lot, and I love it. And then the last one is going to be the next Fortuna Sworn book, which I'm totally blanking on the name of. I literally just wrote down Fortuna. So here's the next book that's coming out. This comes out in October, but I do want to reread some of the previous books. I've read Fortuna like 3 times at this point. I don't need to reread this first book, but I definitely need to reread books 3 and 4. And I'm trying to decide if I want to reread book 2 or not. But I will reread some of these before going into this. This is an adult fantasy romance following a heroine who can turn people's nightmares against them, and then she ends up making a deal with the Fae. And I think there's only one more book after this one, if I'm remembering correctly. I'll have to double check that. But I think it's a 6-book series. The next category is going to be arcs. I am only going to highlight 4 books here. I have a ton of October, November, and December arcs, but I am just going to talk about 4 of them here. First is The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. I love Adrienne Young. Spells for Forgetting was one of my favorite books of last year. I have absolutely no idea what this book is about, and I don't think I want to read the synopsis for it. Just because this is an author that I know that I love, I just kind of want to go in and experience it, since that is a luxury I don't have very often. Then we have Power Unbound by Freya Marsk, which is the 3rd and final book in the... I'm totally blanking on the name of the series, but this is the 3rd and final book, and I'm pretty sure that we are getting a romance that I am absolutely desperate for. It was introduced in book 2, and I think it's the ex of one of the heroes in book 1. I think. And this one is another historical fantasy romance. Each of these books follows a different couple, but we're following the same sort of plot throughout. Book 1, I absolutely loved. I gave it 5 stars. Book 2 wasn't my favorite, but I'm hoping that this one is one that I will love. I didn't like book 2 as much because it was set on a ship. It was kind of like an interlude where we were getting some backstory and stuff, and I wanted to be back with the main characters. And I think we are in this one. So I'm excited for this one. Then we have Stars in Your Eyes by Case and Calendar, which is going to be, I think, my 2nd book by this author. I think I had said in my TBR that I hadn't read from Case and Calendar yet. However, I did read an Audible original from them, and this is going to be my first like full-length novel. This is another one that I know very little about, but I believe this one is actually following somebody who is famous, which I was tentative about when I first saw. I'm hoping I end up loving this. I've heard such good things about this author's writing. And then lastly is Technically Yours by Denise Williams, who is an author that I absolutely love. I did end up missing this author's last release, was Do You Take This Man? For whatever reason, I never ended up reading that one, but I am really excited for this one because this one does follow a heroine in STEM, which I'm always here for. I believe that she's actually a programmer, if I'm remembering correctly, which is what I do. So I'm very excited for this one, and this one will for sure be in a video as long as I film said video, which does lead us into the last category, which is seasonal and books for videos. The reason I grouped these ones together is because I have a ton of seasonal vlogs that I really want to do and seasonal recommendations that I want to do. And so a lot of the seasonal books that I wanted to read fell into a video. First is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. This was a book that I feel like went around everywhere last year around the fall time, and I had it on my radar, and then I didn't end up reading it during fall, and then it didn't feel like the right time. And now book 2 is coming out, and this book is like appearing in everyone's feeds again, and I need to give it a try. I have been waiting for this from my library for like well over a month at this point, so hopefully it gets to me soon. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to purchase the audiobook, which I don't particularly want to do. I do believe that this is kind of like a dark fantasy. I'm excited to give it a try. I've heard really good things from absolutely everyone that's read this, so I'm excited to give something a little bit different outside my comfort zone a try. And then next we have Hollow by Sam Nascosta, which is a Headless Horseman story. It's actually 2 stories in one, and they are both Headless Horseman retellings. I think one is FM and one is MMF. Don't hold me to that, but I am really excited for some more Headless Horseman romances. I think I've read one every single year for like the last 2 or 3 years. Then we have Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRoe, which is so funny because I think I put this on last fall's TBR as well, and I never read it. And I've put this book on so many TBRs at this point and haven't read it, but I am determined. I am determined to make it happen this fall. I read the first chapter during my Reader's Guide to Fantasy Romance, and we were following a demon who is kind of being forced to raise a god, and I'm assuming that he's going to work with somebody and stop them. I have no idea. We're going to find out together. This is another long book though, which is why it has been so hard for me to commit to it, but I'm trying to get over my fears. Then we have The Vampire King by Kenya Wright, which is a book that I heard about from, oh my god, I'm totally blanking on her channel name again. It's going to pop up right here. But this is a vampire romance, fantasy romance. That's all I know about it. This is another one that I think is part of a series, and I've kind of been holding off because I am concerned that there's going to be a cliffhanger, but I'm itching for some vampires. I've been reading a lot of witchy stories, and I want vampires. Then I have Starling House by Alex E. Harrow, which I do have as an audio arc through NetGalley, and I believe this one's a haunted house story. And then the last book in this category is another one that I think I've put on multiple TBRs. Well, that's Heart Hunt Havoc by Freda's Moon. I ended up chickening out on this one. I am such a scaredy cat. Literally everything terrifies me. And this is supposedly a very haunted house, and I chickened out. But Steph from Novelty Corner has assured me that it's not that scary. So hopefully, hopefully I don't get spooked, because I really want to read this one as well as the sequel. And again, it's for a video, which makes me think that it's a good time to tell you about some of the content things that are coming. I keep telling you that they're for videos, and I haven't told you what any of those videos are. As always, this is subject to change based on my whims. But a couple of the vlogs that I really want to do. One is I want to do some spooky vlogs in October. I think they're going to be themed. I haven't 100% settled on all of the themes. I know one for sure, and I have a couple of other ideas for the other ones. And then I also am considering, since I didn't end up doing my September arc vlog, I might do October and November. And then the only other vlog I'm going to tell you about is a new releases vlog that I want to do. There is one particular day in the fall months that I have, I think it's 5 arcs for that one day. And so I am going to vlog me reading all of the books that are releasing on that one day. I'm not going to tell you what day it is, but there is a new release day that I just ended up getting an absurd number of arcs for. And I'm going to vlog the whole experience and tell you which ones you should actually get on that release day. So that is a little peek into the vlogs that are coming. I have some recommendations videos. I have, again, a couple of spooky ones that I want to do in October. In November, I know that I want to do a look back on my goals and see what we accomplished, and then maybe do a vlog where we finish up my goals. And then the last big thing that's going to be coming in fall is my planner series. I think it's like every single Monday starting next week through pretty much the end of the year, I will have a planner video. It is a lot of planner videos, so hopefully y'all are actually interested in it. But I asked over on Instagram for questions and things that you guys wanted to know, and I got so many submissions and requests, and I broke them down into categories, and there were enough for me to do for pretty much every single Monday through the end of the year. And then of course on top of that, we have all of the end of the year content and things like that. I spent the majority of today as well as this week trying to plan out content through the end of the year because I have so many things that I want to do, and there's not enough damn days and time to do it all. So there's a lot of things coming. Hopefully I can follow through on the majority of it. I am trying desperately to get ahead so that I can actually keep up with all of these things that I want to do. So that is going to be it for my fall TBR, my fall content. Let me know what you are most excited for this fall, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.